What's going on, guys? Keegan here from Punishers Paintball. I'm here with Joel. Today we are doing a very anticipated video of the CS2 Pro versus the new Luxe TM40.
If you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all social media platforms, and if you want either of these bad boys, they're available at punisherspb.com.
Alright guys, so getting into this video comparison, or this gun comparison, let's start out with just the packaging of what the guns come in. I guess, Joel, you want to start with the TM40?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So this is the DLX Luxe TM40. We're finally starting to get these in stock. Pretty traditional packaging from Luxe. What's really nice about the Luxe case is that it's a little bit thicker, but it's less like size-wise as far as the square goes. Compared to like a Planet Box or anything else or other manufacturers. The other thing that I like to point out is that it does have this carrying handle, which is really nice from the factory. Metal zippers, so you're not going to have any issues there. And it does have this like nice carbon fiber, like decoration more than anything. It's not actually carbon fiber. It's going to do a really good job of protecting your case. It's kind of like in between a soft case and a hard case. You're obviously going to have to press really hard to do some damage to the case. And then even then, you're not really going to do any damage to the actual gun itself inside, which is the main idea behind protecting the case. What about you, Keegan?
So the CS2 Pro, per Planet's usual packaging, comes in just this normal box that kind of gives you some of the information. Kind of got like what the gun actually is, the color and everything. But most of the time people just trash these. There's really no reason.
I feel like most people try and take care of it, but it just doesn't go well.
Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. There's really no reason to keep it, honestly. Once you get out of that box, you have Planet Eclipse's normal hard case that comes with most of their markers that they currently produce. These hard cases are nice for protecting your marker. However, they do get dinged up fairly easily. Mine has seen better days. They get scratched up, dinged up. But your gun is always protected in them.
That's true.
It does not have a carrying handle like the TM40 or I guess Luxe in general, their cases. It does have real strong metal zippers. I've never seen one. I don't think we've ever seen one come in with broken zippers, honestly.
No.
And overall is a fairly decent case. If you want something that's going to hold up a bit better, being thrown in your bag, probably this, but they're both going to protect some markers.
I think the big thing for me is the carrying handle. Like, they're both going to do the job. This one does get dented. I would say overall, packaging-wise, I think that the Luxe takes it just for the simple fact that it does have the handle. To your point, you really can't dent this case where you can dent the aluminum of the outer shell of the Planet case. Not a big deal, though. But, coming inside of the marker, a few things. First off, your manual or your quick start guide for the Luxe TM40. Keegan, you have an excellent color manual, as we've talked about over and over and over again with Planet Eclipse.
You really just can't beat this.
Parts diagrams for every portion of the marker, so your bolt system, your regulator, everything, including all the O-rings and everything else like that when it comes to Planet Eclipse. With the quick start guide of the TM40, it's going to walk you through the basics of the marker, mechanical conversion, all that stuff, but it's not going to really go deep in depth when it comes to like the Planet manual. So there's that side of things. Now
you can online find parts diagrams for the marker if you need.
That's correct. That's a good point. Yes, the actual manual, full manual for the TM40 is online at dlxtechnologies.com. So there is that side of things. Moving on, Allen keys on both of these. I would like to point out that the Allen keys for the DLX is much nicer than the Planet Eclipse. You're going to get a much better option. Most of these Allen keys aren't even needed with the DLX gun. However, you can use this to basically work on, we use these to work on multiple different forms of guns at the store, which is really nice. For the TM40, you're also going to get a USB-C data cable, as you can see there. And then and we'll touch on what that's for. You get the DLX Luxe barrel cover.
Got the Planet Eclipse version in here.
Yep. So pretty similar there. Yeah, nothing to write home about there. Parts kit wise, this is the parts kit that you're going to get with the DLX Luxe. You're going to have a battery retainer, a spring. You're going to have a couple extra detents, multiple O-rings with absolutely no size guide, which I'm sure you'll touch on. And yeah, so pretty basic there. Keegan?
Yeah. The Planet Eclipse CS2, or really all of their guns in general, come with a really nice parts kit. It's not in anything fancy like that. However, you have a lot of parts, pretty much everything you would need in the parts kit.
100%.
It comes with multiple O-rings in every size, as well as individual bags for each O-ring that are labeled with the size, what they are for, etc., which is really nice.
That's my biggest thing, is the fact that it's all labeled, which is super nice.
Yeah. So Planet Eclipse does a really good job with their parts kits. Would I like to see it in something like that? Yeah, but at the same time, this does the job.
Yeah, so parts kit definitely gets the award for Planet Eclipse. Manual and parts kit, definitely Planet Eclipse. Dow 33 lube here, I would pull it out, but it's a big pain to pull out, so I'm not even going to mess with it. But you get a full ounce there. I believe it's close to a full ounce there.
This is...
It's 20 milliliters, which is, I think 30 milliliters is a full ounce. So, and then the actual gun and the marker. So why don't we get into the actual gun and marker here, since talk about the barrel first.
Yeah, right? That's what I was going to say. Barrel first.
All right, so as far as what the TM40 comes with, this is the Freak XL barrel system. So this is an 8-inch control bore. It only comes with a 687 insert, which, Keegan, why don't you talk about your inserts real quick?
So the CS2 Pro comes with the Shaft FL barrel. My personal favorite barrel system. It comes with the aluminum tip because a lot of people had complaints with the carbon tip, as well as it comes with 3 barrel backs, which there are actually only 4 of them made. The 4th one is a 677, so you won't really use that. The ones that are included with the marker you will use pretty frequently, with the 681 back, the 685, and then the 689.
And they're all colored.
Yeah, they are all colored.
Which is like really cool.
To match the gun, which is nice.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, like all 3 colors are going to be different. This is a part swap gun, so actually a used part swap gun. But needless to say, overall barrel wise, just simply based on the fact that most people really like the Freak XL barrel system. They both have excellent barrel systems. I would say Planet Eclipse has to take it when it comes to overall barrel, just because of the fact that you get 3 inserts. Now, what I will say is, once we touch on the value here in a little bit of the markers. These extra inserts are only $15 a piece, and really you only need a few if you want to really upgrade to the full Freak XL Boremaster kit. You can, but I don't really think it's necessary. You can buy a few extra inserts, be into it for an extra $30 and all that stuff. So one thing that does drive me crazy about this, no place to put those extra inserts though. If you do buy those extra inserts. So, all right, Keegan, let's tap into the guns. Everybody's already bored.
One more thing that the CS2 Pro does come with that the Luxe X does not is the CS2 Pro actually comes with both a soft and a hard tip. Whether or not it's really going to change the performance of the gun, debatable, but it's there. Makes people feel better.
I'd like to point out that you also get a power cord, or a power
charging block.
That's what it's called, block. With the DLX Luxe TM40, that way you can charge, and then you can also use the USB-C cable for data if you need to. This is the first time the Luxe X also had USB-C. But much more adaptable than the previous Luxes.
And to touch further on that, actually yesterday, DLX released that the TM40 is now offering a wireless charger that you do have to buy separately. However, that is a option that you can get if you want to.
And that retails for $59.95. We'll have those in stock here shortly, seeing as though they just came available. All right, so guys, getting into the guns. So Luxe TM40 is the newest thing offered by Luxe. It's in commemorative fashion of Tim Montresor commemorative edition also as well. You've got 5 base colors of Luxe TM40. This gun retails at $1,500. CS2 Pro?
CS2 Pro, how many options are there?
There's like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
4 or 5, but
there's around 4 or 5, and you can part swap them versus well, you actually can part swap the TM40s now that they come with just the all solid colors. So there's plenty of color options available for both of the markers. The CS2 Pro, however, does come in at a price mark of $1,650, so it's about $150 more than the TM40.
So value-wise, right off the bat, $150. Something that's going to offset that, in my personal opinion, is most people are going to buy extra Freak XL inserts, which is going to put you closer to being even. Something to consider.
As well as if you want that wireless charger.
The wireless charger as well, correct. Yes. So first thing to point out is the barrel system, like we already kind of talked about. Freak XL is excellent, so is the FL. Biggest thing that I like to point out here, they're both going to be relatively the same length. I think this is 14 inches, that's 14.5 inches.
Correct.
This is Luxe thread, that is autococker thread.
Yes, so there are going to be more barrel options available for the CS2.
Exactly.
As autococker has kind of just taken over most guns.
Almost everything.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so next thing that we'd like to talk about is Feednecks. They're going to be very similar. I personally would probably, between the two of them, I'm going to choose the DLX Feedneck, just because I feel it's a little bit shorter than Planet Eclipse Feedneck. The only downside to the Luxe Feedneck is that you have it is threaded, whereas that one's held on by an Allen key and tension. So you know, a little bit easier to remove that one than this one. But I mean, they're both clampy Feednecks. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Only difference that I ever see in the two when I'm teching them is that the Planet Eclipse one, A, is easier to get off, and then B, if you have to get it really tight with the thumb lock, it's just, to me, easier on the CS2. But other than that, they're pretty much exactly the same.
Yep. As far as regulator, this has max flow regulator. That regulator system is going to be in the inline.
Yep.
Yep, and they're both going to be extremely consistent coming off a high-end gun. So there's not much to talk about there. I think the big thing is, you know, talking on the features. Let's get into the trigger frame and the ergonomics of the gun. So this gun is definitely going to be a little bit thinner body-wise than the CS2 Pro. Like CS2 Pro is going to be a little bit taller than the Luxe, but the Luxe is also probably a little bit more extended out. It does have a slight 8-degree angle to that. Ergonomically, I prefer the Luxe TM40. That's just a preference thing. I like the trigger better. And I think the main reason why I like the trigger better is because the trigger on the TM40 is a little bit thinner than the CS2 Pro, width-wise. So that's a big factor for me. But the CS2 Pro does come with blade trigger and a side trigger, which is nice.
It does, and there is currently other trigger options available for them, like Infamous makes some, and there's various other companies that make them versus the TM40. At the time of making this, there's no aftermarket triggers available. You
can put a Luxe X trigger in it if you shave a portion of the metal off the trigger, which obviously most people aren't going to want to do that. I'm sure that with time, the Luxe TM40 will have aftermarket parts, but right now, upgradability-wise, I definitely think the CS2 Pro takes it because you can get colored grips for it. Autococker thread, so if you want to change your barrel system, you can, even though I think that'd be crazy. But needless to say, you can. So what else is monumental in this gun? I personally think that obviously the Pro Lock system of the... Yeah, it took a little effort to get up. But needless to say, the Pro Lock trigger frame is probably one of the main features to the Luxe TM40. So Pro Lock, what we mean is there's a latch in the back and a latch in the front, very similar to the Luxe X. I'd also like to mention that the latches are actually feasible to move this time compared to the Luxe X, so they did fine-tune that.
I was going to say, you got that off real easy.
Yeah. And then you just kind of wiggle it here, and boom, there is your trigger frame. The electronics on this gun are actually inside, and everything is used by a Connect touch technology. So there's your trigger frame there. And the solenoid can also be removed by using this latch mechanism. So literally, there you guys have it. Now, why is that important? It's because the Luxe TM40 offers a mechanical conversion without any tools. So the mechanical frame has yet to be released, but it is going to be released soon. And basically, the mechanical frame is the game changer, in my opinion, when it comes to this gun. So Keegan, why don't you touch on what's offered with the CS2 Pro? So with the
CS2 Pro, you do get toolless grips. Both of the grips are toolless, so you can get to your batteries toollessly. You can actually on the TM40 as well. However, the full grip does not come off without an Allen key. Right here I can just get into my batteries there. It takes AA batteries, which is nice. The TM40, like we said, is a rechargeable battery. Back grips are wireless, not wireless. The back grips are also toolless, so I can just take them off real easy. That makes it easy to clean, makes it easy to get into everything right here. It is not, unfortunately, a toolless frame removal. There is 2 Allen keys, one being right here in front of the front grip, and then one being underneath the bolt. You do have to remove both of those. Now, I will say there is also a mechanical frame available for the CS2 Pro. However, good luck getting one. At the time, they are extremely difficult to get. With the mech frame, you actually do have to remove a lot with the gun. You have to remove, let's see, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
So really, as far as that goes, it's the 2 Allen keys is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
The solenoid is in the mechanical valve. The mechanical valve is maintained within the mechanical frame, which means that you don't have to change out the solenoid. This you do, but it's all toolless, so it's kind of a trade-off.
However, you have to change out the regulator unless you buy another one.
Yes, and that's an extra, I think, $60, something like that.
I thought it was like $100.
It might be $100.
Yeah.
We'll fact check that on the website. But needless to say, yes, you're definitely going to be mechanically wise. You're going to be into it more with the CS2 Pro.
Yes.
Both are going to be metal construction. Both are going to have tunable triggers and all that stuff. So it's kind of a trade-off when it comes to, like, value-wise. I think that overall, the Luxe TM40 takes it when it comes to mechanical conversion. And on top of that, the TM40 core, which is similar to the Luxe X core, but it is different. It does have an integrated QEV, which makes it, the recharge rate is a lot quicker. So you're basically going to have no issues sustaining high rates of fire if you want to use this mechanically for, if you're playing ICC, ICPL, anything mechanical, or say you just want to go out and play rec ball. It's going to be a lot easier on the TM40. So that's probably the main feature when it comes to the TM40.
Yep. Both have an operating pressure of 110 psi. So that's identical.
Efficiency-wise, I actually think that the Luxe TM40 wins. So check out our efficiency tests that we're going to be doing on these guns. But I actually think that the TM40 is more efficient, which is wicked. I think it's anywhere from like 12 to 14 pounds off of 68, but we're going to test that in another video. And overall, I think both of these guns shoot phenomenal. It's just a preference thing. So Keegan, you use this gun personally.
I do.
This is my actually personal TM40 that I just pulled off the shelf. Why don't you tell me why you use the CS2 Pro?
So if I'm being completely honest, between the two, like, for a little bit, I was trying to figure out which one I wanted to shoot or which one I wanted to get, because I was debating trading in my CS2 towards a TM40. I ended up not doing it, and the only reason that I didn't do it was because I can always buy another new TM40, but I can't buy my specific CS2 back. And so for me, it's a very, very close call for me. I love both guns, and the TM40 has some great features. However, the CS2 has just been my baby.
And it's been extremely reliable.
Yeah, it's been extremely reliable. I've had absolutely no issues with it. It's always running. Let me grab mine, just show you how filthy it is. So this is my personal gun, and it is filthy. And I'll go out and I'll just play with it. I won't do anything with it. I'll clean it before like a tournament, but like before practice, I can go out how it is right now, and it's going to work perfectly fine. I can air it up, no leaks. So it just works, and so I love the fact that it is extremely reliable. It feels good in my hands. I've got everything set exactly how I like it. However, to me, it is a close call between the TM40 and the CS2. If I was to pick between the two brand new, right now, I honestly might go with the TM40.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me, TM40, so there's a few things. I think that the TM40 feels better in my hands. I've never really liked the feel of the CS2 Pro. I think overall, the CS2 Pro, like, the feel's not bad. The thing that drives me crazy about the Planet guns is the grips. The grips have this, like, weird texture to them that actually
Especially
irritates
new,
my hand. Yeah, brand new. They irritate my hands off the bat. The other thing I like to mention is that they changed the grips on the TM40 from the Luxe X, so it definitely makes it more. Feels better in the hands. A little bit softer rubber. I'm sure once you use it a bunch, it's really going to break in. It's going to be a nice soft rubber. Snap grip screws. So like if you want to, if you want to charge this thing, boom, there you go. There's your USB-C port to charge the gun or to upgrade any firmware. It has a rechargeable battery that has phenomenal battery life. I think feature-wise, it's absolutely, like, it takes every gun on the market right now. Because 100%. You have a mechanical version, you have this Pro-Lock feed system, it has a toolless solenoid removal. Like, this gun, you can take this gun apart and put it all back together in like 20 minutes. Which is phenomenal. The max flow regulator is extremely consistent. And the big thing that I like to touch on is most people like the CS2 Pro because it's so reliable. I've seen a bunch of people. I've been paying attention to what people's feedback are on this gun, and like overall, nobody's had any issues. There was a lot of quality control issues with the Luxe X coming out, and the Luxe TM40 does not have those issues. So like overall, these guns have been pretty much bulletproof. I used this one this weekend for the first time. I put 4 cases of paint through it, so 8,000 shots. Had 0 issues. It shot flawlessly the entire weekend. I've also shot some like super brittle paint, Pro Char tournament paint through it, and we put 2 hoppers of paint that was literally breaking from knee height, and this gun didn't chop 1 ball, which was phenomenal to me. Like I actually I'll give any gun the benefit of the doubt when it comes to like, this is a new gun, it should be able to handle it. But I looked at this gun, I'm like, there's no way that we're gonna not chop, and I shot 2 hoppers through it, and it shot phenomenal. This gun reminds me similar shot-wise of a Luxe Ice mixed with a Luxe X. So it's got a little bit of a poppier shot compared to the Ice, but it's got a smoother, poofier shot compared to the Luxe X. And I didn't like how the Luxe X shot. I love how this gun shoots. It's like perfect in between, and it's super efficient. It handles paint well. It's got the best features on the market. I like the barrel system. I want to change the barrel system on it. And just overall, I think that this gun is the bee's knees, and that's why I'm shooting it personally. I came from the M3 Plus, and so for me it's a TM40. For you, you're kind of impartial. If it wasn't for the sentimental value, it would be close. Yeah,
it would be.
But both guns are great guns. But with that said, I think what's more important is I think we should go shoot them.
Yeah.